Have you ever been so inspired that you go online and get a gym equipment, maybe an elliptical or a treadmill, but by the time it arrives, you've lost your motivation? There is a very popular saying that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So let me ask you this. Do you wish to lose weight, or do you actually want to lose that weight once and for all? If you've said yes, then you are at the right place. Before you do anything, you need a plan, and you need to gear up on all the tools necessary so that you can actually begin without any delays. Today, I'm going to give you 11 weight loss tools that you must have to inspire you and also to help keep you on track so that you can ensure success. The first set of tools I recommend you having are weight tracking tools. I've already mentioned these in a previous video, so if you haven't seen that yet, please pause this now and look at that video for reasons behind why I recommend them. But here is a quick summary of those tools. The first one I recommend is having a weight scale, especially one that can track your body fat percentage and muscle mass. The one I have here that I like a lot is an Omron one, which actually measures visceral fat as well. The next one is a handheld body fat monitor, which only measures your body fat percentage, and it's a good one to have if you do not want to invest in a new weighing scale. The third tool that I recommend is having a measuring tape, so that you can measure the changes in your body fat and your waist circumference, which is a very good estimate of how your weight is changing. And the explanation is found in that previous video. All the links to the apps and tools I'm going to mention here will be found in the show notes below this video. It is a fact that people who write their goals down are 50% more likely to achieve them, which is why I recommend that you track every single thing that you eat and drink. You can simply do this with a pen and paper in a journal, but there are many apps out there that will help you do this very easily and efficiently, and I have a downloadable list for you at the end of this video with a complete list of all the apps that I have used and liked. But here I'll just mention my top 2 favorite ones that I regularly recommend to my clients. The first one is EA Tracker. It's both an app and a website, and is actually developed by Dietitians of Canada, and it's completely free. It has a bunch of amazing tools and resources that I know you'll come to appreciate. For tracking your intake, you will need to first download the app and sign up and build your profile. The app will then prompt you to follow the next steps of how to input your foods and activity. One of the other things I really like about EA Tracker is their recipe analyzer on their website. You can put all the ingredients of your recipes with their quantities and analyze it based on your serving size to get the exact calories, macronutrients like carbohydrate, fat, and protein in your recipe, and also nutrients like vitamins and fiber and sodium, which is really good to have. The only downfall of the EA Tracker is that it doesn't have all the branded foods out there. So for example, if you're trying to find the calories in McDonald's burger, you may not be able to find it, but you can simply Google that information and put it in. But you can find many other whole foods in this. The other tool that I love after the EA Tracker is MyFitnessPal. This is the one that I widely use with almost all my clients now, mostly because it has a large database of a lot more foods and has almost all the brands that you can think of. Because it is a user-built database, you will find many homemade recipes in there too that people have put in. The only downfall I find with this is that anybody can put anything for the calories and the nutrients based on their best guess, which may not really be 100% accurate. If you do decide to use the MyFitnessPal, I usually suggest that you combine the use of the EA Tracker's recipe analyzer with your MyFitnessPal. So what I would do is analyze your most commonly eaten recipes and then store it in your MyFitnessPal's database so that you can use it over and over again. So these were my 2 favorite food tracking apps, but there are a lot more apps that can do the same thing, and the list of those apps can be found in the downloadable checklist that I have for you, which I've compiled based on my experiences, and I found it to be pretty useful and good. You'll find it by following this link, modestnutrition.com/10x2. The next set of tools that I really recommend are portion controlling tools or portion monitoring tools. We all know that we eat a lot more than we should. Controlling portions isn't easy, especially when you don't know how much the portion should actually look like. There are a few very cheap tools that you can actually get to help you with this, and my favorite way is simply using measuring cups and measuring spoons that you already have at home. They can be in a form of a cup, a spoon, or a scoop, as long as you have at least a half cup portion and a 1 cup portion measuring tool. I love having these in a form of a scoop like the one in this picture, because it makes it easy for you to scoop food out directly from a cooking vessel in the correct portions before putting it in your plate. This is especially handy when it comes to rice and pastas because it's very easy to go overboard with them. But just make sure that you scrape off the excess heap to flatten the portion out before you actually put it in your serving plate or bowl. The other tool for controlling portion is a food scale. I personally don't use this, but many of my clients swear by it. This food scale here was recommended by one of my clients. You can measure out the portions of your foods in grams or ounces. The exact portions you should eat of each foods will be covered in a future video very soon. But for now, just getting one of these portion controlled ways is good to get you started. The other tool that you can have to watch your portions is getting a pre-portioned plate. I love these ones. I use the Corelle ones because they're dishwasher and microwave safe, and they're very lightweight and chip resistant. But there are other manufacturers that are also beginning to sell chinas and plates that are portion controlled, so you can get them from there too. Getting the smaller 8.5-inch plates are better to manage the correct portion size for weight loss, but they do have larger 10-inch plates as well. It's also important to carry a water bottle with you because it's very easy to forget to drink water. Our body cannot distinguish between hunger sensations and sensation of thirst, so having a water bottle with measured gradients or portions on them will make it easier for you not only to remember to drink water but also to keep track of how much water you're getting in your system every day. There are smarter water bottles out there, and I have mentioned one of them in the checklist as well. Weight loss and healthy living is practically impossible without activity. We know how important activity is, and we know we should all do it. Usually when you ask yourself how much activity you actually did, you probably guess and come up with an evaluation which is probably much higher than you actually did. Just like with food, you need to quantify your activity to know exactly how much you do and how much you have left to do, which is why I recommend that you invest in some kind of fitness tracking tools or activity apps. These don't have to be expensive ones. In fact, my first recommended tool is absolutely free. It is the Google Fit app. It is a free app found in almost all Android phones, but you can also download it for free by going on your app store. As long as you have your phone on you all the time, this app tracks the number of steps that you take and your activity level every day. This is very useful so that you can set goals for yourself. It also calculates the estimated calories you've burned. And just so you know, this will not be 100% accurate, but having a tool that measures the activity and the steps without you actually having to physically put it in is a great tool to have at hand, and it's completely free. The second fitness tracking tool I love a lot is a Fitbit. This is something you can simply wear as a watch, and it does tell time, so it is a 2-in-1 feature. There are other apps outside of Fitbit. I believe Google Fit has an app. There are so many other tools like these out there. I've only tried Fitbit and I've good reviews from a lot of my clients. So that's why I recommend Fitbit. And it doesn't really matter which one you get, as long as you have at least a few features in them. One of them, the step counting feature, I think all of them have that. The other thing I would look for, which I find very useful in the Fitbit, is tracking your activity intensity. So based on your activity level and stamina, the Fitbit app looks at your heart rate to measure your activity intensity zones, which can range from fat burning zone to cardio zone to the highest level, which is a peak zone. Having tools like these can help you get and stay motivated, and it helps you set quantifiable, achievable goals for yourself every week. That's why I recommend having them. The next tool I recommend is not for tracking, but I just wanted to throw it in this list for fun. It's a fitness ball. Of course, you can use this to exercise on, but I actually use this for something else too. It's kind of my little secret, but you can use a fitness ball as a chair instead of your regular desk chair or sofa. When you sit on it, especially without a supportive case, the muscles in your legs, your back, and your abs are constantly working to keep you stable and grounded so the ball doesn't move. So after only a few hours of sitting on it, you will notice a tightening or a burning sensation in your muscles, which means that it's working. It's one very easy and mindless way to work out your muscles throughout the day, and I would really suggest that you keep a fitness ball in a room where you spend a lot of time sitting, especially in front of the TV, so that the next time you need to sit, you will sit on the fitness ball instead. You can actually get a stability case with the ball to actually use it as a chair, but I think it will defeat the purpose of it. You can still get it if you need. If you do have back pain or injury, I would suggest that you first consult with your doctor before you actually sit on it. And the last tool I have for you is a journal. Like I mentioned with tracking foods, you are a lot more successful when you write your goals and your achievements down. So get a journal that you can always have at hand to track your weight, your body composition, food intake, and your activity. And if you have apps to do all of these, then at least write down your goals for the week. It is important to write things down somewhere. Touching a pen to a paper is super important, and it is one of the key elements for success. So writing it in a journal which is dedicated specifically for weight loss will help you keep everything all in one place. So that brings me to the end of the 11 tools I have for you. I have a longer list that you can download by clicking on the link modestnutrition.com/10x2 and going in the bottom of the page, opting in by entering your email address. This list has a checklist of all the items you may need, you may have, or you may want. Not all items are going to be made for you. So for items that you don't have, you can try them, maybe get a trial period for them, rank them on the checklist that I have based on your priority and how important you feel they are, and then decide and write down the date of when you're going to get them. That way you have a plan in place, and this list will stay with you so you can always go back to it for alternative tools when needed. So download your checklist and grab the tools and apps now, because there is no time like today. The sooner you get everything, the sooner you can begin planning the next stage of your weight loss. And stay tuned for another video which will be coming up next week.